Welcome to Love Lies Chronicles.
I'd love to know what you think. Every comment helps me make the next story better. Subscribe to stay tuned. I should have known something was off when she told me to stay in the bedroom until 8. It was her party. Well, our apartment, but her party. Kelsey had spent the entire day Saturday turning our place in Wicker Park into something unrecognizable. She'd moved my gaming setup into the closet, taken down the framed photo of us from our trip to Michigan last summer, hidden my shoes, my jackets, anything that screamed another person lived there. When I asked what she was doing, she said the space needed to look clean, less cluttered. Her friends were coming over for a fall gathering, some cocktail thing with her new crowd from that photography class she'd been taking. Then she told me to come out around 8. Once everyone was settled in, I stared at her. Come out at 8? It's my apartment too. My name's on the lease. She was doing her makeup, barely looked at me in the mirror. They're coming at 7 for drinks and catching up. You'd just be standing around. Come out for the actual party part. I didn't push it. Should have, but I didn't. So I stayed in the bedroom like she asked. Heard people arriving at 7. Laughter, music, the sound of glasses clinking. Around 7:45, I'd had enough. I opened the bedroom door and walked out. 25 people packed into our living room. Kelsey stood near the kitchen island, holding court with a group of women I'd never seen before. She had on a new dress, something expensive looking that I definitely hadn't seen her buy. There was a ring light set up in the corner. Very Instagram ready. I walked over to where she was standing, put my hand on her shoulder. Hey, sorry I'm late to my own party. She went rigid, turned to look at me with this frozen smile that didn't reach her eyes. Oh, you're here. Not hey babe. Not everyone. This is Andrew. Just, you're here. Like I was the pizza delivery guy. A blonde woman next to Kelsey looked confused. Your party? I thought this was Kelsey's place. I kept my voice friendly. It's our place. I'm Andrew. Her boyfriend. Silence. Complete, awkward silence. Kelsey laughed, but it sounded forced. Everyone, this is Andrew. He's the guy I live with. The guy I live with. Not my boyfriend. Not my partner. Not even my roommate. Just the guy? Like I was temporary. Like I was furniture. Someone asked, "Oh, you have a roommate? I thought you lived here alone." Kelsey was already turning away. It's complicated. Who wants another drink? Something clicked in my head right then. All those times she'd cropped me out of photos. All those events she said were networking only, no partners allowed. All the times she posted pictures of our apartment calling it her space, her sanctuary, her home. I wasn't forgotten. I was erased. I stepped back from the group, looked around at all these strangers in my living room, sitting on my couch, using my glasses, in my apartment. Then I spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. Actually, let me reintroduce myself properly. The room went quiet. I'm Andrew Brennan. I'm not just the guy she lives with. I'm her boyfriend of 3 years. I've lived here for 18 months. And as of tomorrow morning, I'm the guy who's moving out. I walked back into the bedroom, closed the door, heard the confused murmurs start immediately. My phone started buzzing 30 seconds later. What the hell are you doing? Get back out here right now. You're embarrassing me in front of everyone. These people are important for my career. Can we please talk about this after they leave? I didn't mean it the way it sounded. Why are you being so dramatic? Fine. I'll tell everyone you're sick and had to lie down. People are leaving. Are you happy now? I turned the phone face down, sat on the edge of the bed, listened to the party die outside. Voices getting quieter. The front door opening and closing. Opening and closing. Around 9:47, my phone buzzed with a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hey man, this is Trevor. I was at the party tonight. Friend of Amanda's from Kelsey's work. That was rough. If you need someone to talk to who's been through something similar, let me know. I think there's stuff you should probably know. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I typed back. When and where? I drove to my brother's place in Bridgeport. Got there around 10:30. He was still up, watching a game. You look terrible, he said when he opened the door. I feel terrible. He got me a beer. Didn't ask questions right away. Just let me sit on his couch and breathe. After a few minutes, I told him what happened. The party. The introduction. Walking out. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he said, "She introduced you as what?" "The guy I live with." He shook his head. "That's cold." "Yeah. You staying here tonight?" "If that's okay." He grabbed a pillow and blanket from the closet. "Couch is yours as long as you need it." I slept maybe 3 hours. Kept replaying the moment. The way she said it. The way everyone looked at me. The way she turned away like I was an inconvenience. Around 6 a.m., I gave up on sleep. Made coffee in my brother's kitchen. Sat at his table and started making a list on my phone. Things that didn't add up. Things I needed to check. By 7, I had a plan. Or at least the start of one. My brother came out around 8. Saw me at the table with my phone and coffee. "You've been up all night." "Most of it." "What's the plan?" "I'm going to figure out what's really going on. And then I'm going to leave." "Good." He poured his own coffee. "You deserve better than being someone's secret." The next morning, Kelsey tried to apologize. I was already packing a bag when she came out of the bedroom. "Andrew, we need to talk." I kept folding shirts. "Go ahead." "I was nervous last night. I didn't mean to make you feel small. You introduced me as the guy you live with." "I know. I'm sorry. It came out wrong." I was flustered. "Flustered?" "Yes. All those people. I panicked. I stopped packing." Looked at her. "Why would you panic about telling your friends you have a boyfriend?" She didn't answer right away. "Then, it's complicated. They don't really know about us yet. We've been together 3 years." "I know, but this friend group is new. I haven't had a chance to explain our situation." "Our situation?" I zipped the bag. "I'm staying at my brother's place in Bridgeport for a few days. I need to think." Her face changed. Panic replaced the apologetic look. "How long?" "What about rent?" "I'll still pay my share. But I need space to figure out what's going on here." "Nothing's going on. You're overreacting." "Am I?" She followed me to the door. "Andrew, please. Don't leave like this." I turned back. "You didn't just introduce me badly. You introduced me like I don't exist. Like I'm an inconvenience you have to explain away." "That's not true." "Then why did you hide all my stuff before the party? Why did you tell me to stay in the bedroom until 8? Why do your friends think you live alone?" She had no answer for that. I met Trevor that afternoon at Botrus Coffee in the Loop. He was early 30s, dressed business casual, friendly face. We got coffee and sat by the window. He didn't waste time. I should probably start with why I reached out. My ex did something similar about a year ago. Hid me from her social circle for 6 months. I didn't realize until I showed up early to one of her events, and she introduced me as her friend. I winced. "That's rough." "Yeah." The way Kelsey talked at that party, I recognized the pattern. He pulled out his phone. I looked her up afterward. "Has she ever mentioned her Instagram?" "She posts a lot. Lifestyle stuff." He turned the phone toward me. "Take a look. Kelsey's Instagram. 12,000 followers. Her bio said, 'Living my best life in Chicago. Solo adventures. Design and lifestyle.'" I scrolled through her recent posts. Photos of our apartment. Our couch. Our kitchen. Our bedroom. Captions about her space. Her sanctuary. Her independent life. Not a single photo of me. In 3 years, not one. There were pictures from Friday night. 2 days ago. The caption said, "Friday night in. Just me, wine, and Netflix." I'd been there that night. We watched a movie together. She must have taken the photo during a bathroom break. Trevor watched my face. "Keep scrolling. Look at the comments." The comments were full of people praising her independence. Single life goals. No man needed. Living your best life. And Kelsey responded to them. "Living solo is the best. Just me and my dreams." Exactly where I want to be. I set the phone down. She's been telling people she's single. Not just people. 12,000 people. Trevor leaned back. "Can I ask something personal? How much of the rent do you pay?" 60%. We agreed since I make more. She told Amanda at work that she lives alone. Said rent in Wicker Park is brutal for solo living, but worth it to have her own space. I felt cold. Trevor continued. "I'm not trying to make this worse, but you should check your finances." My ex opened a credit card in my name. I'm not saying Kelsey did, but check. I pulled out my phone right there. Logged into our joint checking account. We kept it for rent and utilities. I deposited $1,500 a month. She deposited $1,000. The balance was $380. It should have been at least $2,000. We'd been building it up for months. Someone had been making cash withdrawals. Regular ones. Trevor saw my face. "Yeah, that look. I had that look too." "What did you do?" "I documented everything. Got a lawyer. Got out." He finished his coffee. "Look, I don't know what you're going to find. But whatever it is, protect yourself first. Document everything. And maybe talk to a lawyer who handles tenant situations. Not a divorce lawyer. We're not married. Even better. Clean break is simpler. But you still need to know your rights with the lease." He gave me his number. Then he said something that stuck with me. "Someone who hides you doesn't value you. Remember that." I spent Sunday evening at my brother's place going through bank statements. The joint checking told a clear story. Cash withdrawals, 200 to 300 at a time, every couple weeks. For 6 months. That was our savings. Money we were supposed to be building up. Gone. Then I checked my credit card. The one I'd added Kelsey to as an authorized user 18 months ago. For emergencies. The balance was $6,200. The limit was $7,000. I thought it was around $1,800. That's what it had been last time I checked, maybe 3 months ago. I went through the statement line by line. $450 at Nordstrom, $280 at Sephora, $550 at West Elm, $300 at some boutique I'd never heard of. On and on. None of it was emergencies. All of it was stuff for the apartment. For her content. For her image. I pulled my credit report. At least there were no accounts I didn't recognize. Small relief. Monday morning, I called the credit card company. Told them I needed to remove an authorized user. The representative was efficient. Done in 5 minutes. Kelsey would get a notification, but I didn't care. She'd already been notified I was done. I opened a new checking account at a different bank. Transferred half the money from our joint account. Left her the remaining $190. Let her figure out what to do with it. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have. I created a fake Instagram account and looked at Kelsey's page like a stranger would see it. Her follower count had exploded in the last 8 months. Before that, she had maybe 400 followers. Normal person numbers. Her old posts were casual. A few included me. Normal couple stuff. Then around last fall, something changed. The posts got more curated. More professional. The captions got longer, more lifestyle focused. And I disappeared completely. I scrolled back through the timeline. The last post with me in it was from 10 months ago. Since then, nothing. Like I'd never existed. I remembered something. We had a shared Dropbox for apartment stuff. Lease documents, insurance, that kind of thing. I logged in. She'd never removed me. There was a folder I'd never noticed before. Content Strategy 2024. I opened it. Inside was a document titled Brand Identity Plan. I started reading. Target audience. Single women aged 25 to 35, career-focused, independent. Brand messaging. Self-sufficiency, treating yourself, no compromises, living your best life solo. Content themes. Apartment tours, solo dinner ideas, self-care routines, independent woman lifestyle. Monetization strategy. Reach 10,000 followers by June. Start approaching brands for sponsorships. Goal of 2,000 per month in sponsored content by end of year. Then I found the notes section. Relationship visibility analysis. Tested content with boyfriend mentions versus solo content. Solo content performs 3 times better. Engagement drops significantly when relationship is mentioned. Decision. Phase out couple content entirely. Rebrand as solo lifestyle influencer. Another document. Monthly budget projection. Income sources listed. Day job, $2,800 per month. Rent contribution from roommate, $0, covered by projected content income. My $1,440 a month. She'd categorized it as pure profit for her content business. She'd been planning this. Not for weeks. For months. I took screenshots of everything. That night she texted me. How long is this going to go on? How long is what going to go on? You staying at your brother's? This silent treatment. I'm not giving you silent treatment. I'm figuring things out. We need to talk about bills. The electricity bill came. I'll pay my half like I said. When are you coming home? I don't think I am. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. What does that mean? It means I'm done being erased. Oh my God. You're still on about that? I apologized. No. You explained it away. There's a difference. So what? You're breaking up with me over a bad introduction? I'm breaking up with you because you've been lying to everyone about your entire life for the past 8 months. That's insane. I haven't lied about anything. You told your followers you live alone. You told your coworkers you're single. You planned out my erasure in a spreadsheet. Silence for 3 minutes. Then, you went through my files. Our shared Dropbox. That you never removed me from. That's a violation of privacy. And using my rent money to fund content where you pretend I don't exist isn't? No response. Tuesday morning, I took the train to River North. Attorney's office, 16th floor. Sharon Wells, tenant rights attorney. Her receptionist said the consultation was $250. Worth it. Sharon was 50s, professional, no nonsense. I laid out everything. The lease with both our names. The bank statements. The credit card charges. The Dropbox documents showing her content strategy. She read through it all without expression. When she finished, she looked up. Good news. You're not married. Clean break relationally is simple. Complex news. Joint lease with 7 months remaining. She outlined 3 options. Buy her out for about $5,000. Leave and pay 2 rents for 7 months. Or negotiate a mutual lease break. What do you recommend? Document everything first. Then I'd try for option 3. You have leverage. What leverage? She tapped the business license application I'd found in our apartment. Using a residential property for commercial photography without landlord permission. That's a lease violation. You could report it, but that hurts both of you. Better to use it as negotiation. Sharon gave me a clear action plan. Remove Kelsey as an authorized user on my credit card. Open a new checking account. Document all shared property. Then present Kelsey with a choice. Mutual lease break, or I report the lease violation to the landlord. The consultation took an hour. I left with a folder full of notes and a plan. I stopped for lunch at a place near the office. Sat alone at the counter, eating a sandwich, thinking about everything Sharon had said. 3 years with Kelsey, 18 months living together. And somehow, in the last 8 months, I'd become invisible. The worst part wasn't the lying. It was how calculated it was. She hadn't just drifted away or gotten caught up in something. She'd made a strategic decision, written it down, analyzed the data, decided I was bad for her brand metrics. My phone buzzed. A text from my brother. How'd the lawyer go? Good. I have a plan. Need anything? Just time to process. He sent back a thumbs up. My brother understood. We'd both been through breakups before, but nothing like this. Nothing this methodical. I finished lunch and headed back to Bridgeport. Spent the afternoon making lists. What was mine, what was hers, what we'd bought together. Preparing for the separation like Sharon advised. Everything documented. Everything clear. By evening, I had it all mapped out. Ready for the next step. I went back to the apartment while Kelsey was at work. Took photos of everything. The living room furniture, 70% mine. The couch I'd bought for $1,200. The TV, $800. The coffee table, the bookshelf, all mine. I found more evidence while I was there. Mail on the counter addressed to Kelsey Hartman, sole resident. A copy of a business license application. She'd registered KH Lifestyle Studios as a home-based business 6 weeks ago. Commercial use of residential property. Direct lease violation. I photographed everything. Copied files from the Dropbox to an external drive. Built my case. Wednesday, I texted her. We need to talk. In person. Thursday evening? Finally. Yes. Come home. We can work this out. Not at the apartment. Sawada Coffee, 7 p.m. Why there? Neutral location. This is serious. You're scaring me. You should be taking this seriously. See you Thursday. Thursday at 7. I sat in Sawada Coffee with a folder in front of me. Kelsey arrived 10 minutes late. She looked defensive before she even sat down. I've been thinking about what you said. She started. Before you start, I need you to listen. I pulled out the folder. Opened it. Lease agreement with both our names highlighted. Bank statements showing the cash withdrawals. Credit card statements with her purchases highlighted. Printouts of her Instagram with the solo living claims. The business license application. The Dropbox content strategy. I laid them out one by one. Her face went through stages. Defensive. Angry. Calculating. Desperate. You're making this such a big deal. You used my rent money to fund content claiming you live alone. You opened a business in our apartment without telling me. You erased me from your entire online presence as a strategy to get more followers. I was building something. You were building it on my back while pretending I didn't exist. She tried different approaches. Apologies that didn't sound genuine. Anger about privacy. Claims that I never gave her a chance to explain. Offers to post about us, to tell everyone the truth. Finally, she asked, what do you want? I want out. Cleanly. I explained the terms. We approached the landlord together. Break the lease. Split the penalty 60-40 based on our rent ratio. I take my furniture. We close the joint account. She removes herself from my credit card. Done by end of November. She countered. What if I buy you out? Keep the apartment? Can you afford $5,000 plus your own rent going forward? I have a big sponsorship coming Friday. I can make it work. The apartment tour post? She looked surprised. How did you know? The one where you're going to show off your apartment. The one I'm still on the lease for. I leaned forward. If you post that, claiming you live there alone while my name is still on the lease, that's fraud. And I'll make sure both the sponsor and your followers know the truth. She understood then. She had no leverage. Silence for a full minute. Fine. We'll talk to the landlord. But she didn't say it like she meant it. Friday morning, I woke up to a text from Trevor. Dude, did you see her Instagram? I opened the app. Kelsey had posted the apartment tour at 7 a.m. Photos of every room. The caption gushed about her beautiful Chicago apartment. Every piece I've carefully chosen. This space is my sanctuary, my creative studio, my home. Hashtag solo living. Hashtag my space. Hashtag sponsored. She'd gone back on our agreement. Posted the fraudulent content anyway. Taken the $1,800 sponsorship money. She bet I wouldn't follow through. She bet wrong. I spent 20 minutes screenshotting everything. Her post. Her claims. The comments from followers praising her independence. Then I drafted my own post. I almost never posted on Instagram. Had maybe 300 followers, all real people I actually knew. But this needed to be said. I posted a photo of our lease. Both names clearly visible. The caption, saw an interesting post this morning about someone's solo apartment in Chicago. Here's the lease that shows it's not quite so solo. To the 12,000 followers being sold a story about independence and self-sufficiency, the apartment you're seeing is shared. The rent you're told she pays alone? I pay 60% of it. The sanctuary she curates? I've been living there for 18 months. The furniture in her apartment tour? The couch, TV, coffee table, bookshelf. All mine. Bought with my money. In our apartment. She introduced me to her friends last week as the guy I live with. Not her boyfriend of 3 years. Because admitting I exist would hurt her solo living brand. I'm not posting this to be cruel. I'm posting this because authenticity matters. If someone is selling you a lifestyle, you deserve to know if it's real. This one isn't. I tagged Kelsey's account and the sponsor brand. Added hashtags. Authenticity. Truth matters. Posted it. My phone exploded. Within 30 minutes, my post was being shared. Comments flooded in. Trevor verified the story, said he'd been at the party. Other people who'd been there started commenting, confirming it was true. Someone shared it to Twitter. Kelsey's followers started finding it. The comments on my post came fast. Holy shit, I've been following her for months thinking she was goals. This explains why her apartment looked different in stories versus posts. I knew something was off. The audacity to take sponsor money for an apartment she doesn't even legally have rights to. Kelsey's text started at 7:34 a.m. What the fuck did you do? Delete that right now. You're ruining my career over a stupid fight. People are unsubscribing. The sponsor is calling me. I'm losing followers by the minute. Please. I'll do whatever you want. Take it down. You're being vindictive. I have lawyers. This is defamation. Answer me. At 8 a.m., I sent one response. Everything I posted is factually true and I have documentation to prove it. That's not defamation. That's transparency. You should try it sometime. By 9:15, she forwarded me an email from the sponsor brand. They were terminating her partnership immediately, demanding return of the $1,800, reviewing whether further action was necessary. By noon, she'd lost 2,400 followers. Her recent posts were flooded with comments. Fake. Liar. Who else did she deceive? Her perfectly curated feed had a permanent stain. Monday, we met at the property management office. Both of us, plus the property manager, Tom. Tom had clearly seen the Instagram drama. He had our lease file open on his desk. Let's talk about what's been happening in Unit 304. He looked at me. Mr. Brennan, I saw your post. He looked at Kelsey. Ms. Hartman, I verified it with our records. Using a residential property for commercial activity violates your lease. Section 8, Paragraph 3. Kelsey tried to speak. It was just a few photos. Tom cut her off. It was monetized commercial photography. You made $1,800 from one post. How many other posts? She had no answer. Tom leaned back. Here's what's going to happen. I'm willing to let you both out of the lease without penalty. Mr. Brennan, you've been a model tenant. You'll get your portion of security deposit back. Ms. Hartman, your portion will be withheld to cover the violation. You both have until November 30th to vacate. That works for me, I said. Kelsey looked panicked. Where am I supposed to go? Tom's expression didn't change. I suggest you figure that out. And Ms. Hartman, your rental history will reflect the lease violation. In the parking lot after, Kelsey tried one more time. You destroyed everything I built. No, you built everything on a lie. It destroyed itself. I just showed people the truth. I hope you're happy. I'm not happy. I'm done. There's a difference. The following Saturday, I came back with my brother and Trevor. We had a rental truck parked outside. Kelsey wasn't there. She'd texted that she'd be out from 10 to 4. Make it quick, she'd said. We made it quick. My brother took the couch. I directed Trevor to the TV and stand. We dismantled the bookshelf, loaded the coffee table, packed up my desk from the second bedroom. All the furniture I'd brought in or bought. Every piece I'd carefully chosen over the years. In the bedroom, I took my clothes, my books, my personal items. Left her stuff untouched. We weren't petty about it. Just fair. The kitchen was harder. We'd bought most of that stuff together. I took half the dishes, half the glasses, half the cookware. Left her with enough to function. By 3 o'clock, the apartment looked empty. Hollow. Like no one had ever lived there at all. My brother stood in the doorway, looking around. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. Trevor clapped my shoulder. This is the hard part. New place will feel better. We locked up. Left the keys on the counter with a note. My set of keys. Address where to send my portion of the deposit. Nothing else. Drove away without looking back. 2 months later, I was in my new apartment in Logan Square. 1 bedroom, smaller, but affordable on my salary alone. I'd taken my furniture. Set everything up exactly how I wanted it. Saturday morning, I made breakfast in my own kitchen. Played music without headphones. Had my gaming set up in the living room where I could actually use it. A photo of me and my brother on the wall. No one to tell me it didn't fit the aesthetic. I deleted the Instagram post after Kelsey moved out. Made my point. Didn't need to keep it up. My account went back to being occasional, authentic posts. Recent one was a photo of my new place. Caption, sometimes starting over is exactly what you need. 47 likes. All from real friends. Heard from Trevor that Kelsey had tried to restart her account. New handle, new name, fresh start energy. Had 300 followers. Comments were full of people asking if she was the girl who lied about her apartment. She'd moved back in with her parents in Naperville. The influencer dream died with the lie it was built on. I met Trevor for coffee every week now. Talked about normal life. Work, sports, regular stuff. You seeing anyone? He asked one Saturday. Not yet. Still enjoying the space. Good. Rush into nothing. He told me about his ex situation. She'd been keeping him secret because she was still involved with her ex, keeping Trevor as the backup plan. Found out when I showed up early to surprise her for her birthday. He was there. That's why I recognized what was happening to you. Someone who hides you doesn't value you. We toasted our coffee cups. To being visible. To being visible. 2 weeks later, I ran into Amanda at the grocery store. Kelsey's coworker. She'd been at the party. She recognized me. Looked uncomfortable, but approached anyway. Andrew, right? I nodded. I owe you an apology. I was at that party. I knew something felt weird about how she introduced you. But I didn't say anything. After everything came out, I felt awful. You deserve better. You weren't the one who lied. No, but I enabled it by staying silent. We all did. She paused. For what it's worth, I stopped following her content. The whole thing left a bad taste. She told me Kelsey had tried to come back to their coworker lunches. It was awkward. She stopped coming after 2 attempts. Was looking for a new job. I don't wish her harm. I just wanted out. That's generous. She really did a number on you. She did. But I'm good now. Amanda smiled. If you're ever in the area and want coffee, let me know. Just as friends. We exchanged numbers. I didn't know if I'd reach out, but it was nice to be seen as a person worth knowing. The following week, my boss invited me to a work happy hour. Normally, I would have made an excuse. Kelsey never wanted to go to my work events. Said they were boring, not her scene. So I'd stopped going. But I said yes this time. Showed up at the bar in West Loop. My coworkers were surprised to see me. Johnson, from accounting, handed me a beer. Didn't think you did these anymore. Figured it was time to start. We talked about work stuff. Normal conversations. Someone asked if I was still with that girl, the Instagram one. Word had gotten around. No, that ended a few months ago. Sorry to hear it. I'm not. I took a sip of beer. Better off. Johnson nodded. Fair enough. I stayed for 2 hours. Just existing in a social space without having to hide or shrink myself. Without worrying about being cropped out of photos or dismissed as unimportant. It felt good. On the train ride home, I thought about how many events I'd skipped over the years. How many connections I'd missed because I was accommodating someone who didn't want me visible anyway. That was over now. Friday evening, I made dinner in my apartment. Simple pasta. Kelsey used to insist we do Instagram-worthy meals. This was just food. Good food. No performance necessary. My phone buzzed. Trevor asking about Bulls tickets Sunday. I said yes. My brother texted about Super Bowl plans. Normal life. Visible life. I thought about who I was 6 months ago. Staying in the bedroom during parties in my own apartment. Being cropped out of photos. Making myself small so she could seem bigger. Paying for the privilege of being erased. She'd call me the guy I live with like I was nothing. Temporary. Disposable. A means to an end. She was wrong. I wasn't nothing. I was someone who deserved to be acknowledged. To be seen. To be valued. The anger was mostly gone now. Replaced with boundaries. Knowledge of what I wouldn't accept. No more making myself smaller for someone else's image. Kelsey had wanted extraordinary so badly, she built it on lies. The followers, the sponsors, the carefully curated feed. All of it dependent on hiding the truth. My life now? Small apartment. Modest furniture. Real friendships. No thousands of followers. No brand deals. No ring lights. Just honest. Visible. Mine. Dinner was ready. I sat at my table. Didn't need to photograph it. Didn't need to prove anything. Just existed in my own space. Finally, fully, undeniably visible. Not as the guy, just as Andrew. And that was exactly enough. She'd wanted to erase me to build her brand. Instead, she'd erased herself. And I'd finally found the space to exist without permission. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.